And greetings and welcome to the QCast. This is season 5, episode 59, and all-time QCast episode number 199. So thank you to everyone that's followed along, supported this fun little journey that has become the QCast. And what a crazy night in Division 3 basketball last night. And who else am I going to have come on the show today other than Mike Rejniak? And Mike, before I just ask you any questions, just let me ask you for your reaction to the huge win last night.
Yeah, I think it was a long time coming. I think we've struggled to get that statement win, and I think finally the basketball guys God said, "Hey, you've earned it." So like, and they gave us one. But in all seriousness, though, like we've really kind of prepared for that moment, pretty significantly, and it's taken a while. The trouble is like sometimes you only play 1, 2 games a year, so it's very tough to build towards that. It's not like a season per
Right.
se. But it was very special, obviously for the division, for the players, for the coaches, for all the guys that like yourself that were so involved in the D3 community. It was really cool, really special.
I was thinking last night, as you know, in the moments after the game, I was thinking like what a great moment that was for the division, for Division 3 basketball,
Mhm.
men's and women's. And most there's not many nights when the whole collective group can rally around something. The
Mhm.
game nights, we're all rooting for our own teams or maybe a conference or something like
Mhm.
that. But there's just not many times when everybody is pulling on the same side of the rope. And I'm just curious, like how much your guys kind of feel that when they take the floor, that they've got this army of people that just so desperately want them to
Mhm.
do great.
They love it. I love it. I think that's why one of the reasons why we started it way back when, because I knew if we got something rolling, we would have an army behind us. I mean, we're the largest division in the NCAA. That's why I try and keep the roster as eclectic as I can.
Yeah.
Um, and I think like that's, but also from the years, like I got former players that were on our team that, right, wrong, I had to let go. They chose to not come back, but we all kind of rally around us. And it has been cool to kind of develop that family. And, it's not lost on the players. It's not lost on me. We love it. And it's absolutely like really cool, like you said, to have everybody pulling the rope at the exact same time, and to really have fun. And I think like how many we are the team where everybody can relate to. A lot of people play Division 3 athletics, a lot. And I got texts and calls. I was a D3 softball player. I was a D3 baseball player, soccer. I got a couple of wrestlers that are like texting me. So it's like really cool to have that. I thought it might take off back when, but like to have that actually happen is pretty cool stuff for sure.
The game last night, obviously we could break this down in a lot of ways, but what I would
Mhm.
say is that I've watched a lot of games over the years, D3 versus D1 games. Like last year I went up and watched Illinois Wesleyan play the DePaul Blue Demons and Butler at Hinkle Fieldhouse. And
Mhm.
usually these games,
Mhm.
D3 kids versus D1, they look, the D3 kids at some point look overmatched just in terms of athleticism, quickness, size.
Mhm.
I thought we were going down that road for 5 minutes yesterday. And then all of a sudden, and then the rest of the game, it didn't look like that, Mike. That did not
Mhm.
look like a game where our guys were outmatched in
Mhm.
any way, shape, or form. It didn't seem like they were more athletic. Certainly they were bigger in the post. Certainly they were bigger.
Mhm.
But talk about just like your ability personnel wise last night to match up and compete with a bunch of Syracuse guys
Yeah.
and other guys.
I think like literally it's a mindset. And it's it's like the old adage, like what is it? Like it's not the size of the dog, but the size of the fight in the dog or whatever it is. But like um, we are pretty deep. And I actually played the entire roster
Yeah,
in that first half last night.
yeah,
The entire roster, 1 through 13, at least got 2 minutes. And I knew at halftime when I looked at the box score and I saw we were out rebounding them by 10. They might have had one more three than us. We had a couple more turnovers than they did, and they made two more shots than we did. And we were only down six. I knew then we took their absolute best punch and we had a good shot if we just stayed the course to get to where we needed to be. You talk about kind of the D3 versus D1 thing. What's different is not only is that happening, during seasons, things like that, and like you might have at Illinois Wesleyan a good 8.
right,
We have a good 13, and
right,
those 13 are the best of the best.
right.
And now they're playing together
Yeah,
with a common mindset. Then it starts to overshadow some of those kind of first looks. Like Raheem Christmas is about bigger than my garage. Like he's like that big and strong. But, Christian Parker, fresh out of college, out rebounded him.
yeah.
So, like, I just thought like the guys, we've continued to have kind of these battle scars through the years, whether it be Kansas, whether it be last year versus Harfire, or some of the scrimmages we had this week. They didn't forget those scars. And when it came time to perform in those moments, after those first 5-10 minutes and we settled down, we were rolling, and it didn't phase them, quite frankly.
When I talked to you on July 3rd, when we talked about the upcoming TBT,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about Ty Nichols, and you had mentioned that he had been playing in Rucker Park and that he got this nickname, the Silencer, and that he was just killing it. And you mentioned, we'll get into the whole guard crew in a second, but you talked about him a lot, and I don't know what else to say. 36 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, all those shots he made down the stretch, and some other guys made big shots too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He hit enormous baskets, including the game winner. He was
Mm-hmm.
the best player on the floor in a game against a bunch of heralded Division I scholarship guys. I
Yeah.
mean, I just open-ended question here. What can you say about Ty Nichols?
And mind you, not just Division I guys, there were a lot of them were NBA first round draft picks.
Including the college player of the year, right? Frank
Yep.
Mason was the player of the
Yep.
year in Division I. Like, oh my
Yep.
God.
So I personally have made calls to NBA guys that I know. And I was like, you got to at least give this kid a tryout. I don't care. I don't care if he's on contract or whatever. He's earned it basically of everything that he showed. I think what's interesting for him is he's a true competitor. He ultimately just wants to win. So if that means giving it up to somebody else on the team to get the bucket, he'll do it. Like there were times, where he has had in our games 7 assists, things like that, where he's okay with that.
Yeah.
It's just like for whatever reason, it was just one of those games where it was just really flowing. And like I said, to everybody, I'm okay with Ty and his shots. I don't like
Yeah.
he is an unorthodox type of player, and my goal is to just not get in the way with him. I give the structure to the guys and to him, and I was just like, go ahead. Like my job is to get you the ball and put you in a situation and then just make plays. So he obviously like I thought proved to everybody on national TV, what I've known and the staff has known, and what you have known, and several other people have known for several years now, that like he's a gamer, and he's an ultimate winner, and a great teammate and a great player to coach. Really fun.
Yeah. It just an incredible performance. I just was blown away with every shot that he made, and obviously the game winner. When you talked about your guards, you were very clear in the QCast. You said, I believe we have the best guards in TBT.
Mhm.
And when you look at, Marcus Azor and what he did in game one,
Mhm.
he got us off to that great start. You look at Demetrius Underwood, what he's done in both games. He hit some big shots last night. He loves that little kind of that right in the middle of the lane, 12-foot fadeaway, tough shot that he's hit a few of, hit a big one last night. Your guard trio, we talked about Ty, but I mean, in Azor and Demetrius, and you're playing Daquan a lot off the bench, like you've
Yeah.
got some serious guys at the guard spots.
And those four, Daquan Davis is like the fourth horseman.
Right.
In our up until like he's hit big shot after big shot for us in TBT too as well. Um, and like those four, very versatile. I'm comfortable going small ball with them, and know the ball's going to get taken care of. But more importantly, all four of them defend their butts off. They're getting like they're pinching the post when our bigs are walling up, and they do a nice job of getting the ball out in transition and setting pace. What's unique about this team is people would think like, okay, D3, they're shooting probably a lot of threes. They probably run a lot of sets, and
Right.
we're playing in the half court. But really, with us, we're looking to get out and run,
Yeah.
and to play with some really good tempo through some sort of organization. But also, like we get in the paint pretty well. We know good things happen when we get in the paint and get some paint touches, because then we can kind of space the floor through our shooting. But those four really kind of set the tempo, and it's kind of like a revolving door who I sub out with
Right.
that group. But and they're four very different players
Yeah.
too. So like I think that's what makes it work too. It's not like one's a carbon copy of the other. They're four very distinct players.
Your other two starters have played well too. So
Mhm.
Sam Peak gives you a lot of versatility. Kind of playing him at the four. He's a wing. He's, basically a
Mhm.
wing player. And I thought he had a key moment last night, about three or four times down the floor late. He really was aggressive. And I thought that it helped because it took a little of the heat off a tie.
Mhm.
Like he was going to the basket. I think he scored once or twice, but he
Mhm.
made some things happen. I feel like he's played really well for you, and I feel like his best play might be coming. This is just kind of the gut feeling I have.
I don't disagree there. I thought he played so incredibly hard, and I think because Ty was going off and the team they were so focused on him, Peak saw the mismatch. He played with Buddy Boeheim in the G League on the same team.
Yeah,
So Buddy was guarding him and he wanted to take it to him. Elijah Hughes is from the same town as him.
yeah,
So whenever he was matched up with him, he was looking to attack. So and he was locked in defensively. I thought when they were focused on Ty, ball gets swung to Peak. Peak would attack from that wing and did some really nice like finger rolls and
yep,
things like that, and kind of teardrop shots over multiple nights. He had an unbelievable box out
yeah.
on McCulloch that they called him for an offensive foul, which,
I
which
went back. I
I'll talk
watched
more
it.
about that in a little bit. But you can see him film McCulloch's grabbing his jersey.
Just pulled him
You know,
down. Yeah,
it just pulled him down. But I mean, that's the type of how hard our team is playing against that type of physicality. And so, like, he just gives us a different dynamic. And I think, kind of, you talked about that quad of the guards. There's like a boatload of like threes and fours
yeah,
that we can shift around too between Peak, Thomas Corey,
yeah.
Jackson Mashanik, and Sammy Willoughby. And I think like that's kind of cool too, in those regards. So it's kind of fun, but I thought Peak had a couple. He's starting to get more and more comfortable within us and the team, and that just comes with being new to
Yeah.
us and being new to the TBT. But it's been really cool to see from him for sure.
6'9" Alex Sobel is your starting five, man, and
Mhm.
he's had strong games both times
Mhm.
out. And then I like your rotation because it's flexible. Like Daquan is locked in, so he's part
Mhm.
of that group of four guards.
Yep.
And then after that, Christian Parker is a regular. He's on the floor a lot, and he had a big game. He had 10 points and 8 rebounds. Don't
Mhm.
win that game without Christian Parker, the Mount
Mhm.
Union guy. And then from there, you're kind of mixing and matching. So based on what you need, if you need more of a shooter wing guy,
Mhm.
Thomas Corey has played.
Mhm. Mhm.
I really like what Sahmi did. We talked about him on July
Mhm.
3rd, and that he can shoot it, he can score it.
Yep.
He's a tough kid. He's a put a body on you. He's a rebounder. He
Mhm.
scored that offensive rebound basket early. He hit a mid range. He had three late. Man, I thought he had the dagger 3 times. He had like rebounds, and he just missed 3 shots
Yep.
that could have got like talk about
Yeah.
like Sami's play, because I thought he was really good.
His effort and just kind of like you talk about like TBT is one of those things where what's kind of cool is the more games you play, obviously, the more opportunities, right? But like at least like Sami game one didn't do much. Got 2 quick fouls, just
Yeah,
wasn't the right matchup. I thought, I was putting him in a situation that might not have been successful for him. So we kind of talked about it as a staff, and kind of put him in a better situation, and he thrived. I think that's what these moments do. Like, and because we played pretty much everybody in the first half, at least I get a look at see, okay, what are you doing? A couple plays here. Do I feel like this could be something we can
yeah,
expose? If not, it's nothing personal, but it's just not the right fit tonight. And that's the trouble with some of these. It's a matchup thing. It's not necessarily like
right.
personnel we have our personnel, but like it's more like what matchup do I think we can have an edge with and kind of figuring it out, along the way. But I thought he gave us some awesome juice and talk about a kid that like is such a young buck in his career. Like he's played maybe like
Right.
one pro game in the TBL, but that doesn't count in my opinion. But like, he's going to Finland, that's another thing. We got him helped get him a contract to Finland. So he gave us some juice right off the bat, which was really fun. He tried to cram it on McCulloch, and I
Yeah.
think McCulloch slapped him in the face, and we missed that. But once again, that wasn't a foul apparently in TBT, so whatever, it's all good.
No, are you like, is this like the NCAA? Can you talk about if I ask you a question about the officials, are you allowed
Oh,
to answer it instead
oh,
of
I am unchanged. So like this is the beauty of TBT is I am GM and head coach, so we can talk about whatever because I have nothing.
yeah,
I'm only
because
answering to my wife, and that's it.
you know, I I'm not going to tell you which road Division 3 venue that I felt like I was watching my Titans play at. There's a certain
Mhm.
place we go
Fair.
that is very, very suspect. And now people probably say that about the Shirk Center, which that's not lost to me. But
Yep.
last night, coach, I'm telling you, there were 7 calls, including the one where Sam Peake gets ripped down, and they were big moments. They were like they swung possession, and
Yep.
I mean, I know that it's their home floor or whatever, but
Yep.
did you think that you got a fair whistle? Because I sure did not think so.
I will never want to blame officiating, but we did not get a fair whistle after watching the replay again. And by the way, I watched that when I asked for the review, I thought there was conclusive evidence. You can see the ball rotate differently
On his right
when
hand, his
when
right hand.
Elijah Hughes
Yes,
hits it.
yes,
But
yes,
but I will say that like it's a very tough game to officiate if you let it get out of hand.
yeah,
I thought the physicality. What happens is like these teams that we play, these blue bloods, they're going to try and play you straight up to begin with. Then when they realize they can't beat us, they're going to start fouling us. Then they're going to keep fouling us, and the other coach is going to say every time down is not a foul, and then it gets out of hand like it did. I thought it was crazy to me that we're going into Elam ending and we have 5 fouls and Boeheim had
zero,
absolutely zero.
zero.
Then, okay, now I got receipts. Okay, then I'm watching the after report with their head coach, Griffin. Okay, nice dude, don't know him from Adam. But then he's insinuating that we were purposely playing dirty and that we got a great whistle.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, you have got to be out of your mind. So, like, I don't want to hear anything from them anymore. The Q's fans have been great, but that officiating, I'll probably see him again tomorrow. Whatever, I don't care. It can't get any worse. So it's
Yeah, when they got to the Elam and the play-by-play guys like, and amazingly, Boeheim's Army has 0 fouls. And I'm like, and then the color guy who generally did a really good job in the game, and I don't know who he was. He's probably someone famous. I don't know who he was, but
he's a good
every
dude.
every time that Ty got a call, like one time he was shooting a three, and another time he was over by the where the broadcast crew was. The color
Yeah.
guy would be like, "Oh no, that's not a call. That's Ty is actually pushing off. Ty is kicking him." They'd show the replay, and Ty's getting raked and grabbed, and the guys,
There
yeah,
was
that's on Ty. I'm like, what are you talking about, man?
there was one where Demetrius Underwood is driving, and Buddy Boeheim comes from the other way and just like slams it down, and the ball like just like it's like stopped here and swatted out of bounds,
Right.
and I'm just like, come on. And then Sobel like is walled up at whatever. We battled four plus like the thousands of fans and whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever.
I just had to ask that because
I know. I trust me. I'm right there with you. I am in agreement.
that would have been a rough, had we lost that one, that would have been a tough one to figure
Oh,
out.
trust me. The tone in my voice would have been different.
Um, let's talk as we start to close it out. A couple of things. So the next game is against the Stars of Storrs. That is a Yukon based, although when I look at their roster, some of their best players, Seton Hall guy, a Clemson guy, like in their first game, Elijah Thomas from Clemson, a 6'9" forward, had 22 points. Ryan Boatwright, big time name, 6-foot point guard. He had 19, 5 and 5 in the first game. Second game, Ryan Boatwright plays well again. Isaiah Whitehead's from Seton Hall.
Yep.
I guess if this was 4 years ago, I'd be like, oh my God, we're playing the Yukon guys. Like we're really screwed. I don't know. I'm looking at it like we just beat a bunch of Syracuse guys. Why wouldn't we be right in the middle of this thing? Talk about the matchup here with the Stars of Storrs.
Yeah, I think well, everybody at this stage obviously is good, right? Everybody's good. Everybody's a pro. Personally, I think it says something that they're bringing in two guys from Connecticut that didn't play in their two previous games, and in a I think it's Terry Lair and somebody else that they're bringing in. That I'm gonna have to look at my phone here because I want to make sure I get this right. But Terry Larrier and then RJ Cole that they're bringing on. Interesting, right? But I think I like or just like I liked Boeheim's matchup in certain aspects. I like this matchup in certain aspects. I think Vermont had the game and then they kind of gave it away at the end.
Yeah.
To Yukon. I think it's funny. Like I'm watching Yukon on their socials and like they're posting how they're like staying in the Marriott and planes and they got their own content director and like and all of a sudden here we are at the Comfort Inn and Suites in Carrier Circle. So I just think it's typical blue blood kind of mentality that we're playing against. And what the crazy thing is we're one win away from winning the region and we prove that we belong. So like I know whatever matchup we think might be a mismatch, it's a complete mismatch for them.
Right.
So I kind of like it. I just think we gotta, it comes down to making shots and playing good defense, and I think we got players that can do both.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they are ridiculously talented and big and athletic, and it's going to be a really tough game. But again, going into this, I don't think anyone should go into it feeling like this is like maybe we could hang within 20. I mean, I'm tuning in like let's win. Let's win the game.
Yep.
One more question for you, Reg. We talked last time. I mentioned to you that what I thought was cool, and now that I've seen it, I think it's even cooler. As I mentioned on July 3rd, that I feel like you've got a program here. This We Are D3. It's a program. It's not anymore an all-star team that's playing once a year. This is like a program. There are all these things happening throughout the year that lead to these special moments. Haven't seen two games now. Like you got to feel great about where this where the program is. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. And it starts really like um, our staff is so connected. Coach Harris from UMass Boston, Coach David Clark from Wichita, Kansas, and myself and Malik Larquette, who was a player who
Yeah,
now is a G League coach. The four of us, we fill roles that the others might lack. And I think that's what makes us really play off.
sure.
And we have a solid direction because of that. Like it was when we got smacked by Wichita, however many years ago, Coach Harris was on staff with me there, and that was the first year Coach Clark was on staff, and we sat down and and I remember Jay over misery beers was just like, dude, we got to blow this up, and we got to get Ty Nichols and Marcus Azor, and he was absolutely 550% right. I think it's just continued to build from there, and to have the returners
Yeah,
continue to play like Marcus and Ty and Demetrius, they have a lot of those scars that I wear. And then we add in Sobel, we add in Corey, we add in Mechanic, and Daquan, year two of it. Then we add in Parker and Peak and Gene Campbell and Sahmi and Hank Morgan, Young Bucks to the group where it's like really we're in a really healthy state.
yeah.
Healthy state where I think we can bring awareness and have a platform now even bigger. Like it's always funny to me because after the game everybody's like, oh, we are shocked about D3 basketball. And I was like, dude, we've been having this mission for like how many years you and I have been talking about it. I'm like, oh my God, guys, wake up. Wait, and by the way, and for all the parents that they're watching, like maybe my parents or whoever parents are watching, if I have to hear, well, he's not going to go Division 1, so I'm just going to try out for Division 3. If I have to hear that any more times, I'm going to throw up. Like everybody is recruited hard. Everybody, all the coaches do their jobs and they develop these players. But I think like we are very healthy. I think the combine has been phenomenal. Like from the combine already, like I'll get back to it when TBT is over, but somehow we were at like 20, high 20s that have signed new
Sure.
contracts or better contracts. That's pretty damn cool. So we're serving the division, well, and we're filling kind of a void, which is great. I think it gives help to a lot of these D3 programs, recruiting,
Yeah.
selling themselves, things like that. And if we can be a steward for that and help out, awesome. Because it's going to be healthy for all of us when we all eat, for sure.
But that was the great thing about last night is it was just one of those like there it is. That's what we've been saying is that our guys can play. And there it was. That
Yeah.
was the greatest part. And when we talked yesterday, what game day morning, we talked for 5 minutes, and
Yep.
you said something that stuck with me as I mentioned to you that like what's cool about it is like the great programs like Randolph Macon, they have seniors that graduate and leave, but then there's juniors ready to step in, and there's some sophomore that played on the JV team that's ready to be really good. So like you've got that now, and what you said is, yeah, I have to kind of staff the team like a college program, but I have to coach it like they're a bunch of professionals, which they are, because these guys are they're not 19 and 20. They're out of school. They're playing professionally. So it is a different group of guys than if you had them when they were in school, right, Mike?
100%. And I have to, like, that's something I had to learn. I had to become a pro coach with college ideals,
Yeah.
which isn't easy to do. Like, I'm very type A and structured. A majority of that is because of what I learned under Coach Hickson at Amherst, and kind of that's in my blood. Like, I'm always like, okay, 3 hours ahead of game time, we got to have salads on the table, water, dressing already. Like, that's like, and that's just not how it works, right? Like, it took me a while to let go of that and let them be them, like, because they know their bodies. The honest communication can be there. But it's more so like, hey, let's figure this all out together types of stuff. So how I communicate with them is different. And I think just I've grown as a coach, and the players are kind of growing within their careers. And so it's kind of part of that relationship piece. Like the newbies, like,
Yeah.
Hank Morgan was just playing at Hamilton.
Right.
And you could see sometimes in the moments, he's like, are you sure, coach? Like, this is like way laid back than what Coach Stockwell did. And, and I'm like, dude, it's cool. Like, trust, it's just a different
Right.
type of kind of mentality. But I think as far as comprising the team and how X's and O's wise we do college, as far as managing the team, pro.
Yeah.
And so like that can be very conflicting at times that I had to learn and same with my staff, but they know their bodies, they know preparation and things like that. And I laugh with them because I give them scout reports, I give them practice plans, I give them everything. I was like, just let me just share it with you on a Google Doc, and if you look at it, great, but just make me feel better, and it's more so for me than anything. But they're very they take their jobs very seriously, which is awesome, and I
Absolutely.
think that's where we have an edge where others don't. They take the preparation, and now that we got two, now you see a light at the end of the tunnel. No matter what happens, we are going home on Thursday morning out of this beautiful city of Syracuse.
Right.
We are heading home no matter what happens. So like you got to give me just 48 hours locked in, in the box right now. We are ready to rock. So they're true pros, and the young guys are learning from the older guys. So that's pretty cool to see too.
Just in terms of support, there's a
Mhm.
GoFundMe out there. I will make sure to retweet that because
Yeah.
the great thing about winning is the obvious part about winning, and then there's the costs that come with that. It's that when you guys beat Lane's Hope, it means more
Yeah.
hotels, and you beat Boeheim's Army, it means more hotels and more meals,
Yep.
and there's 16 people here.
Yeah.
So anything to add, Mike, around just the need
Yeah, like
via the
first of all, the
GoFundMe?
support is awesome from guys like yourself, guy, and we always take care of our supporters. We give you, will when the dust settles, gear's coming. Trust me, gear's coming from Coach J.
I
Gear's coming.
like it.
But that stuff goes such a long way to cover expenses for these guys. Like we have to make them comfortable because it is like we got to treat them right too. It's not like we're making money off of it. It's more so like, hey, we got to treat the players that have earned this kind of like professionals, and we try and do it the right way. And so like that money goes towards meals, like just price wise, how we do it. Okay, we talk to restaurants. We're like, can you give us a discount? Like we're doing that D3 thing, like Tully's in Syracuse. If anybody's out there in Syracuse, go to Tully's, best chicken strips in town. But they give us 20 to 15% off. That goes a long way because the
Sure.
bill is like $500 a whack,
Right.
and so like that adds up, when you're providing meals for the guys and hotel rooms and things like that. When the stay's longer, you incur more expenses, and very fortunate that Jay and Top Shelf David Clark, like they've been handling the logistics completely with it, and they have a good pulse on it. But that's where that GoFundMe, all those monies go towards the guys and support. And every little bit helps. Every little bit. I know everybody says that, and I'm like, okay, every bit, but every bit
Yeah,
helps.
literally.
Because we're operating on a shoestring budget. We do the combine to help offset these costs.
Right.
Like I don't make any money off the combine. And then you add in the GoFundMe and the fundraising, like Hardy Strong has been such a great
Yeah.
support. We have Pure Balance of Pilates, which is the actual GM of Heartfire. He liked what we were doing, so he helped support us. And
That's
we
great.
have Oakmont Group Financial Group, Wealth Management, which is Ryan Peaks, Sam Peaks' dad's company.
Yeah.
So like we're piecing it together with sponsorships, but as we win, we're entering uncharted territory, just like
Right.
we were last year. Where like my wife is like, well, what happens, when you win? I was like, I don't know. I guess I'm coming home and they're flying me somewhere. I don't even
That's
know.
awesome.
But the GoFundMe really helps. It's very easy to do. You just click the link, anything. We'll reach back out to people that, like we'll get you gear and things like that when it's all said and done. But, the guys and I are really appreciative of all those that have supported us previously, that are currently supporting us and will support us. It is not lost on us. And the guys and I are really appreciative of it.
Yeah, so to D3 Nation, I'll tweet that out, and let's give the guys one more round of support on the GoFundMe.
Mm.
Well, folks, that was Mike Rejniak, and again, this has been all-time QCast number 199, and episode 200 is going to be one of two people. There's someone that's scheduled right now, about 2 weeks down the road. That's Coach Jacob Flegel,
Let's
and
go. Good dude.
he's either getting he's getting the honor, or if you cut down the nets. If We Are D3 cuts down the nets, the dream here is episode 200 is We Are D3 is the champion of the tournament. So, I mean, it's up to you, Coach, but I'd love to have you be the 200. No offense to Coach Fleegs. No offense.
I would like to do that too. Fleegs is a good dude. After not to, I'll give my one final shot. So I'm going through the line. And by the way, nothing would appease me more than to cut down nets in Syracuse for multiple reasons. But this is starting to come up, and I'm going to say it once, and then I'm going to never speak of it ever again.
I like it.
Okay? I'm coming down the line, shaking hands with everybody. Everybody's very classy, very classy. I go down to Coach Boeheim. He's sitting at the end of the bench, and he wouldn't shake my hand. So that I am keeping receipts for that right now. In that moment. And, because when we lost in Syracuse, you shook my hand. Now we beat you and you don't shake my hand. Okay. So I know how it is. But anyways.
Maybe had you arranged the guys in like a 2-3 zone and then shook his hand, maybe that's it. The only way you could approach him is in a zone. Is that possible, Coach?
Yeah, we could do that. We could totally do that. And I think, I don't know. I had one of those, in the NESCAC, back in the NESCAC days, we had some feisty moments with some coaches. It was because it was really competitive. It was kind of one of those moments. Oh, yeah. And I was like, okay, that's how it is. And he goes, that's how it is. I was like, okay, cool, dude. I'm not going to buy your championship DVD anymore. See you later. So I'm going to go with my wife and kiss my kids. See you later.
Yeah, that's big time. I'm going to do, after this ends, I'm going to do the math on how many more wins Coach Boeheim has than Coach Rejniak. See if we can't tweet that out a little bit with this clip. It's a big differential.
Oh my God, the graphic? Please don't do the graphic. That's like even worse than the meme of me misplacing the thing on the bracket. Which, by the way, also, and then I'll also let it go. How special was it to have Nathan Hardy place the bracket on the
and to have Bob Hardy there? I saw Bob in the you guys tweeted lunch photos. Bob Hardy has been sending me messages, behind the scenes pictures. Yep. He sent me that newspaper thing. So, like, how cool is it to have those guys part of it, right?
It's almost like, we have this really cool family. It really is cool. Like I love talking to you. I love talking to the D3 Hoops guys. I love, Bob and his family, and to have Nathan with us. Nathan stayed with us in the Airbnb. So, like, it was just really, really special. Yeah. And those relationships are really kind of what I treasure about these experiences, for sure.
Well, I tell you what, we're very proud of all of you guys, and we think of big nights in Division III as February moments, March moments, and to think that like one of the best of all time happened on a summer July evening, pretty crazy, but it really was. Like, when I think about like what's the best night of D3 hoops, in a way, just because everyone was pulling for the same thing. That last night is certainly in the conversation, and give the guys our best, and like I said, like, this is not a house money moment here. Like, let's just go win. Let's go beat them because we're good. Like, let's just go beat them because we can play, right?
Absolutely.
What
It's not house money. Now we want to win, and we believe we can win. And I believe we put forth the work to win. So it's not like it's going to be given to us. I think we got the personnel to do it. We got the coaching staff to do it. We got the supporters to do it. But back 7 years ago, that's kind of I knew if we took down, a blue blood, it could be a special moment. And to be honest, it still hasn't hit me yet. But really appreciate everybody's support. For sure, the kindness is, this doesn't happen at Division 1 or D2. That's why, I just love our division so much.
folks, that is Mike Rejniak, who got big time by Coach Boeheim, and that. But the better news is we won the ball game, and the We Are D3 squad plays tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and that is on FS1. So big time basketball, big time venue. Coach, my vision is your guest number 200 with that net wrapped around you. So let's go, okay?
I love it. I'm visual. I'm big into mental visualization. I got it. I want that 200 spot. Sorry, Fleeks.
Thanks a lot, Coach, and everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the QCast, and we'll talk real soon. Thanks, Mike. See you, bud.
Take care.